Hello, Nerd Room fans. Welcome back to another video. We're going to do something a little different today. We're going to discuss posing figures, put them on displays as opposed to do figure unboxings or movie reviews or whatever. So, I was asked by one of my subscribers if I would make a video talking about how I pose my figures or put them in a display or whatever. So, I'm going to talk in detail about the process I use, the thought processes I have, the ideas I might have to put into posing. So they might might come across as simplistic or common knowledge, but not everybody knows this stuff. So yeah, this video is going to talk about setting up a display and posing your figures around. So I'll start showing up and we'll start talking about it. Yeah, that's irony for you. So the first thing I do when I'm posing my figures for my collection is figure out where I'm going to put them, where I'm going to put them for a display or whatever. Like, for example, here, this is my Marvel Legends collection. I'm using a cheap plastic shelving from Walmart, costs about $20 or so, because right now I'm focused more on quantity than quality, at least for the lower parts. Up here I have my hero shelving where I have my Build-A-Figures and a few figures that stand out. But that being said, eventually I'll outgrow that, so I'll have to get some new shelving. So there you go. And what happens when you do outgrow it? Well, right now this is my Superman collection. As you can see, most of my Superman figures are just smushed in there, just put in there willy-nilly. I don't even have room for my blue line right now, so I'm going to get some new shelving and we're a different space for this, and I'll make a video on that eventually. But right now, like I said, it's more real estate is a thing, like Lex Luthor would say. Land, wherever you want to put the figure, that's usually the starting point where I'm going to figure out how I'm going to pose my figures, and in conjunction with its environment. Get familiar with your character's bios. Like, say, for every Deadpool, Iron Man, and Spider-Man, you're going to have a figure like, say, the King Cobra, the leader of the Serpent Society, or a Man-Thing. Which, you might know of by, through whatever, but you don't know the character, so I would say go online and research his character. Read his bio, read his story. Because the more you know about a character, the better you can get at posing. Like, say, Iron Man, for example. If you've seen the movies, and if you're watching my videos, you better have seen some Marvel movies. So you realize, that Iron Man can, use repulsors to fly. So a pose like that is like real easy to do. But like, say, I don't want to do a King Cobra because his powers is he has flexible bones. So pretty much it would just be involved like wrapping him around or something. And if you've seen the video, it's kind of, this posing is a little weird. Let's say Man-Thing here. Man-Thing, he feeds off of fear or whatever, so it's easily to just put him in, say, a monster pose and put him behind a character like he's creeping up on him because he's going to feed off his fear after he gets scared or whatever. So I'm just saying, the more familiar with the character, the more research you've done, posing a character comes second nature, because then you can just put him in a pose that reflects on him. Okay, so what's your character's motivation? I know I'm talking about an action figure here, but if you know the character, what do you want him to do? Like, do you want him to, say, swing a web? Do you want him to spin a web? Do you want him to be up in the air and just swinging from web to web? Do you want him to actually, go through like an extreme jump from building to building or something? What's he doing? Is he doing a can or whatever? I mean, it's really more, what do you want him to do? It's just the basis for my posing. Like, if I want him to do whatever, I work with the articulation to make it happen. It's like kneading clay. Especially with the Spider-Man figures, because they probably have more articulation than, say, another figure. So if you just want to say, jump in the air, if you want to do like the falling part from Amazing Spider-Man 2, you can make that happen. So it's all about the character's motivation. If you want to go out and get a pizza, you can make that happen if you have the right accessories. So it's all about motivation and what's he doing at a specific moment in time for posing, for me anyways. Sometimes it's not posing the figure that'll make it pop. Sometimes it'll be an accessory that comes with it or whatever. So I brought out my Ghost Rider figure, the new one from 2018, for example, and my Build-A-Wing Vulture to show, for example, like the Ghost Rider doesn't need much to make an impression. He just sits on his cycle, and because of the fire accessories, he looks that intimidating. So basically, all I did was just open his jaw a little bit, just to add to the insanity. So as you can tell, that looks just insane. So Build-A-Wing Vulture. All it takes to make him look really dominant is just a few flecks of the wing itself. So you don't really necessarily need to pose a figure. Just the wing itself makes it look just awe-inspiring and just wow. Because obviously sometimes you need to let the accessories do the acting for you and do the posing. Because you can see he's just standing there, but the wings itself just make him pop. So whatever figures you have that come with accessories, let them do all the heavy lifting for visual presentation. So sometimes just posing a figure is more to, say, emulate a scene from a comic book or, say, a movie or whatever. Take this one, for example. I took the Civil War Iron Man and the Civil War Captain America, and I put him in the scene where Tony Stark is firing the repulsors and Captain is blocking them with his shield, which in turn copied the comic book, which is one of the covers of this comic version of Civil War. So pretty much the Russo brothers had two legitimate action figures, more or less, in Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans to make a comic scene come alive. So it's not that hard. It's more like, say, what I do with the Spider-Man and the McFarlanes. For example, I don't have a McFarlane right now, but I took the Spider-Man Homecoming DVD or Blu-ray, and I took the Iron Spider and just put it in a pose just like that. So what do you guys think? If I can just line it up right? It's all about lining him up here, so it's basically pretty close, right? So it's kind of figuring out what the articulation is capable of, put him in a pose that closely resembles what you want, and at the same time it respects the pose and emulates it. So I try. Obviously with this one it came out better than the Spider-Man, but still nothing like emulating it, bringing a scene, say, from a movie or a comic book in front of you too for a display. Sometimes when all else fails, you just need to work with your knowledge of the comic book continuity and make a scene out of it. You don't have to make an exact scene. Like what I did here was I took inspiration from the Onslaught storyline from the mid-90s, where specifically more of the part where Onslaught was controlling the Sentinels, which in turn were trying to destroy all the superheroes. And I took the Sentinel aspect where he's capturing a mutant, i.e. he has Colossus, and I threw in some X-Men figures more or less look like they're battling. Like Cyclops has his visor, Jean Grey is using her powers, and Iceman is using his powers, and Old Man Logan's on the top. So really, it's imagination most of the time. Like, putting them in natural conflicts, like Superman would fight Lex Luthor, X-Men, like, say, Onslaught, or, say, I don't know, Captain America and Iron Man. Alright, so there you go. Those are usually the steps I usually take, or the questions I ask myself when I'm posing a figure for my collections, or when I'm posing it, say, for you guys to watch. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something. I'd like to thank Gerald for giving me the idea to do this video. I really appreciate it. Gives me a little something different to do, but still, in the same realm, right? Anyways, I'm going to some more toy boxings in the near future. I've got a Superman one, and I'm hoping to get to. Hopefully, we'll do a toy hunt in the future. But anyways, thank you guys so much. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I love doing what I do, and I love showing you guys. So, if you love watching the videos, why not? So, thank you again, and we'll see you next time.